What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. To all my reoccurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that each and every single one of you have shown me. If you have not yet, make sure to go check out the God Made podcast on all streaming platforms. Also, feel free to check out Legion Assisted Living Academy. And also, if you want to schedule a one-on-one call with me, you can do that in the link down below in the mentorship link. And also, if you want to passively invest with the syndication firm that I own along with my business partners, you can go check that out at valleyalfventures.com. That link will also be down below for you all. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. A lot of people have been asking me to do a breakdown of what the $50,000 consists of when you want to invest in this industry, especially the residential assisted living. So based off of my calculations, I'm going to utilize my first care home that I got into simply because that's where a lot of people kind of find themselves. And so I'm going to jump over here on a screen share and show you guys a PowerPoint of exactly what's going to entail of this $50,000 and how it's going to be broken down. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to go ahead and talk about how to start with $50,000, and this is starting an assisted living home. Example will be for a licensed 5-bed facility. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of variables and a lot of moving pieces, so this is more of a 30,000 foot view of what can get you started with $50K and how you're going to utilize it. Now, you're going to have to decide if you're going to be purchasing or renting. So figure out which route you're going to go with the real estate, because you need the real estate in order to actually be able to do this business and to be able to start your assisted living. Now, if you're going to go ahead and purchase, you'll have to factor in closing costs, down payment, etc., inspections, appraisal on top of the initial $50,000. So let's say for the average $400,000 home, which would, depending on the market that you're in, that may get you 4 beds, 5 beds, if more possible. But if you're going to be putting down 10%, this is something you'll have to talk with your lender about and whoever's you're doing your real estate with. But factor this in and then put on the initial $50,000. Now, if you're renting, you'll have to factor in security deposit. Usually it's first month's rent and whatever furniture, fixtures, and equipment you will be responsible for purchasing into the initial $50,000. So oftentimes, if a home is semi-furnished or halfway furnished, it's got some couches, maybe a TV, whatever else it may have, you'll have to factor in what furniture you're going to have to purchase. Now, once you make that decision, so what I ended up doing was actually renting. So I had to put down a security deposit, and it was halfway furnished, right? It had some stuff in the living room, but all the rooms were empty. There were no other, the kitchen didn't even have a table. It was too small of a table. I needed a bigger table. So there were some things that I had to purchase as far as furniture and then other fixtures and equipment such as TVs, ramps, bedside commodes, things of that nature to get me started. So rent, like I said, depending on where you live and what the market rate of rent is, it can vary. We will be using my facility. So my rent right now is $2,200 a month. So my security deposit was $2,200. So you go ahead and factor that in. You got $50,000. You subtract $2,200 from that, and now you have $47,800 remaining. Now, keep in mind, some landlords may want first month's rent and last month's rent. If you set it up to where you do a lease option, which I do with my syndication firm with other operators who want to purchase the real estate at a later date, we do require 3 to 5% lease option fee, and so that can be added into on top of your $50,000. So just keep in mind, it can vary quite a bit depending on what terms you negotiate with your landlord. But for me, I only had to put a first month's the security deposit, and then I was off to the races. But then keep in mind, I didn't get any kind of rent abatement, meaning I didn't get like first month or second month rent free. And then starting month 3 through 4, I got half. I only had to pay half of that. I didn't get any of that. But if you do get some of that, you may not have to do that. But then again, it could vary. You may still need to put a security deposit. In most cases, you still will. But The next thing would be is furnitures and fixtures and equipment. So furnishing the home, which would include couches, TVs, nightstands, bed mattresses, dressers, linen, ramps, utensils, dry goods, etc. Everything to get the home ready for licensing is what you're going to have to do before you even place any residence. So you're going to have to do all that and set that all up. Now, this cost me about $10,000 all said and done once I got all new equipment in the home, right? I did get new furniture and I did get pretty much everything new, just simply because I wanted it to be that way and I wanted it to look very presentable. Now, you can save money on this by going on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp to get some of these items at a discounted rate. You may not have to, you could probably get away with purchasing all this stuff for $5,000, right? But for me, in my example that I'm sharing with you guys, so we have $47,800 remaining after we've put our security deposit. Now we take $10,000 and we subtract that, and we are remaining with $37,800. Now that is just the beginning, because next we will be talking about is paperwork, licensing, and zoning. So zoning and licensing fees for me were around $1,500. And then the policies and procedures can cost between $1,000 to $5,000 depending on the company you use to do your paperwork. A lot of people have been reaching out, seeing if I still do it. As of right now, I am not doing any more policies and procedures as of yet, or just simply because I'm focused a lot more on the syndication firm. But anyways, we're going to use the high end because you'll always be paying a premium when you're starting your first home. A lot of these companies, if you're looking to start other homes, maybe they'll give you a discount, maybe they won't. But for the sake of this video, we took $50,000, we subtracted the security deposit, we subtracted the furniture, and now we're going to subtract the zoning licensing fees and the $5,000 policy and procedures, and we are left with $31,300. We're not done yet, okay? So you can see how quickly we start. Once we start factoring all these things in, you start not running out of money, but you see where the money starts going. Now we're talking about utilities and maintenance. Depending on if you have a lot of landscaping, if you have a pool, maintenance can be costly. So my recommendation is to avoid a home with a pool and get something with minimum landscape. This cost could be somewhere between $200 to $500 per month, okay? So depending on how big of a yard you have, if you have a pool and you got to maintain that pool if you are in an area where you do have a pool, but just keep that in mind, okay? Utilities will on a 4 to 5 bedroom, 2-4 bath home can be $500 to $1,000 per month, depending on what you have available at your home. Keep in mind, solar panels help bring your electricity down. A smart system will help. Now, if your home comes with that already or you plan on installing that, I recommend not doing any of that. Simply let the landlord do that and negotiate those things if you decide to have those things in place. If not, that's what you could expect to be your utilities to be on a 4 to 5 bedroom, 2 to 4 bath home. So just keep that in mind. You will need to pay utilities for the months that you're setting up your home. If you've worked out the terms with your landlord, like I said, to give you a stabilization period, also known as rent abatement, you may not have to pay the full amount for the first or second month. But let's assume that you have to pay rent starting month 1, okay, which I had to start doing that. Month 1, I had to pay rent. And then moving forward, I had to pay utilities, so on and so forth. So during the time that you're setting up your home from scratch, this is where this all comes into play. So the burn rate and runway is what it's called. What is your burn rate going to be? How much is it going to cost you before you make any income? What that cost is going to look like. So in most cases, it will take you 3 to 4 months for you to get zoning, licensing, and to start placing residents. That is for the state of Arizona. California can be a lot longer than that. So you want to factor that stuff in. Texas is around this time frame, but in Texas, you can also take 3 people in without having any type of zoning or licensing yet. So you can start at least covering some of these costs that you have to factor in. Now, assuming you start paying month 1, you will need to have money to float you through the first 3 to 4 months until you have placed residence. That is where the remaining $31,300 will be utilized along with paying referral fees. So what I have here is you have your $31,300. Now you got to subtract $500 for landscaping and maintenance, $1,000 for utilities, and then $2,200 for rent. So your monthly expenses are looking to be $3,700. So month one, after you pay that utilities, everything, you'll have a remaining of $27,600. So with $27,600 remaining after month one, months 2 through 4, until you get residence, is what these funds will be for. You will have a monthly expense of $3,700 every month. So after month 4, you will have $20,200. The way I'm doing that is taking $3,700 times 4 and then subtracting that from your total amount that you have after month 1, or times 3. So you have $20,200 remaining. Now let's discuss referral fees. So by month 4, you should have licensing, zoning, everything in place, your home furnished, and what you need to start placing residents, your policies and procedures, all of that is taken care of. Now let's discuss referral fees. Okay, referral fees are normally 100% of the resident's monthly rate. That is what the fee will be. The average rate for a resident in residential assisted living for a private room is $3,800. Now that's the fee that you're gonna be paying to the referral placement agent. Okay, but it's broken over 2 months. So that means if you place 5 residents in your home within 1 month, let's say month 5, month 6, you start placing these residents. Using only placement agents, you will be paying 50% of the $3,800 for each resident that first month, which comes to a total of $9,500 for those 5 residents for that first month they move in, right? Let's say they all move in on month 5. You're just you're a rock star. You had a great open house and 5 residents move in month 5. Your referral fees are going to add up. You're going to do the first half. So 3,800 divided by 2, you're going to take that amount times 5 and your total comes out to 9,500. Okay, that first month. That second month, you're going to pay that 9,500 again, and then you're good to go. You don't have to pay referral fees the following month. So let's assume, month 5, you move 5 residents in. They each are paying you $3,800. So you're paying that first half to your placement agents. So that's $9,500. Now you're left with $10,700 remaining after you've paid the placement agent the first half of the fee. The second half of the referral fee can be paid with what you make from the residents. So month 5, you place all these residents, you go ahead, you pay your referral fees, your $9,500. You still have $9,500 to pay. Now that 6th month, when you get the checks from the residents, you won't even make any money that month. But what you can do is cover your expenses and then also cover your referral fees. And then you're good to go. Month 7, you will start cash flowing if you do it that way. Or you could take the remaining $10,700, but you may want to keep that on hand to be able to cover any of your payroll expenses, any repairs that may come up. You don't want to utilize that cash unless you really need to. So there you have it. That kind of covers everything. Hopefully that's helped, and let's go ahead and get back to the video. Now keep in mind, this is something that is based off of just my $50,000 investment into starting my first residential assisted living, and things have changed since 3-4 years ago when I did make that first video of what it's going to cost to start your residential assisted living. Other than the fact that maybe rent has gone up, that would probably be, even there's just the cost of furniture, everything is inflated right now. So it could be more than just $50,000, but if you're able and you're willing to, you can definitely get into this industry with that type of investment. being a lot more frugal on furniture, being a lot more frugal on certain things that you don't necessarily need to get brand new. I got things brand new because, even 3-4 years ago, things weren't nearly as expensive, such as furniture. But this kind of gives a lot of people a better breakdown of what $50,000 gets you when you first get into this industry. Now, keep in mind, if you're going to be buying an existing business, which I highly recommend to a lot of my students, a lot of people that I mentor, simply because of the fact that you're going to get your rate of investment a lot quicker. And especially if you're new and you really don't have much experience starting one of these from the ground up. Whereas a lot of people first, they purchase an existing one, they learn the ropes of the business, they learn everything that it takes to run the business. Then they go start one from scratch, and they just really have to learn the licensing and the zoning aspect of it. And so some people are able to cash flow it, or they're able to float that startup a lot better because of their cash flowing business that they originally purchased. So they're able to take that money and actually start the second or third or fourth, whichever home they're on. So regardless though, this is just a really high level aspect to what $50,000 gets you in this industry. And if you guys did enjoy this and you guys want to discuss this further, you can schedule a one-on-one consultation call with me in the link down below. If you are looking to purchase something or get into this business from the operational standpoint, let me know. We want to work with experienced operators with our syndication firm, and we can lease these properties out to you and give you the lease option as well to be able to allow you to purchase that real estate at a later date. So let me know. All the links will be down below. Feel free to shoot me an email. That's also in the description. And with that being said, again, thank you so much for all the support. I do greatly appreciate it. And I will talk to you all in the next one.